he was talking about all his problems, and then the AI led him to the idea of suicide,
Oh yeah, I've heard about
and
that too.
that life would just be better, will not get better, and it'll just be better for him to end it, and giving him tips as to how he should do it.
Ouch.
Right? So that's that's a direction of AI where you're like, yeah, this is not God glorifying. This is where we need caution and discernment.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Jesus King podcast.
Welcome.
I'm here with Abe. How you doing, Abe?
Good, man. Good to be here.
Good to be with you, man.
What a blessing.
Today we're actually talking about AI.
AI.
And some people over spiritualize it. Some people don't care about it. Some people use it all the time, and it becomes their Google. Others don't use it. I don't use it, to be honest with you. I haven't got into it.
Yeah.
Do you use it?
I do at times. It's not. I mean, for us who grew up, basically in the Stone Age, we grew up without the technology. It's different for us, kind of like we grew up in an era where the smartphone was just kind of coming on the scene, like in our teenage years. And so we didn't actually grow up consumed in the technological environment to that extent. But definitely those who are kind of growing up in school now and they're just immersed in like all these new technological innovations, it's a different context for them. So I might use it a little here and there, but it's not something that I'm very consumed by. But there are a lot of questions around it. There are a lot of ethical, moral, spiritual questions that a lot of Christians are concerned about or ignorant about or whatever it might be.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I don't even know if we're ready for it in the sense of kind of they're trying to implement it on bigger scales, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you just watch Terminator 2 and you're like, what's going to happen there?
What do we do? Or The Matrix,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's one of those things where like we look at technological innovation from human history.
Yeah.
So, for example, before the agricultural revolution, so before they even knew how to do proper agriculture, it was seen as a new thing and people were skeptical of it. But then once it was set in motion, it made life easier. And then you come to like the Industrial Revolution where it was a similar thing, where it was like people were skeptical, but then they're like, well, this is making life easier and it's a new way of life. There are other technological innovations that are more like fads. So they come and then they go and you don't see it again. But those revolutions that happened, they were there to stay. And they kind of took humanity to a different level in society and in culture and in the big one is in knowledge.
True.
Right?
True.
But then in our era, so coming into the early 2000s, late 1900s, is the technological revolution. So this is something that is unprecedented. It's something that for human history, it was something that all of humanity globally never encountered. Like when we're talking about access to information and access to an information in a World Wide Web, basically. That was something unprecedented. Usually you have a very localized knowledge. You have a knowledge based on your own context and your own country and your own society and your own culture. But now it's very different. With the internet having been here for, the last 30, 40 years, right? More on a mass scale globally, people have more access to information than the smartest person alive like 500 years ago had. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you're looking at it at that scale, it's a totally different new world. It's a totally different dynamic. And now we're faced with a totally new set of problems as well. And then, Christians are going to be like, so we're talking about the internet. That's part of the technological revolution. But now it's stepping it up to AI. Right, so that kind of was foundational to artificial intelligence, which is what's being developed now.
And I think, I guess the concern here for Christians is basically is like the whole sentient part.
That's right.
Where it starts to think for itself, where some people believe it becomes alive and so on.
Which personally I don't believe I don't believe that's able to happen. Because
Yeah.
I only believe that conscious is something that God can develop. But yeah.
And that's what I believe, as
Yeah.
in life comes from God's breath, right?
That's right.
So I believe that life in the truest of its sense is the spirit and the soul of
Yeah.
the person,
Yeah.
right? It's not just informations, because you can have other things that have information in them. But what's interesting here is people. There are two people, two types of Christians. Some people were like, "Yeah, that's great. We're moving forward."
Yeah.
Others say, well, this is the Antichrist.
Yes, yeah,
This
yeah.
is the image of the beast. It's going to control the world and so on. Where do you stand at that?
Yeah, I'm kind of smack bang in the middle. Like I ride the tension a little. I am skeptical of some things, and then I'm also I understand the way of the world, and I understand that these are things that can be used for the glory of God. Like I'll give you an example. Like with the Amish people,
Yeah,
they do have like Christian convictions, but they viewed technology, electricity, and the innovations of humanity. They saw that as the mark of the beast. They saw that as being inherently evil. So technology is inherently evil, and so they want to take no part in it.
yeah,
And so they live very secluded and they live in their own little society. But then you think, okay, well, their reach for the gospel is very limited now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whereas Christians that have said, all right, let's engage in this cautiously, their reach can be bigger, right? Because now they can use the internet, for example, to do mission work, to present the gospel to people that never had access to it before. Like, for example, we have so many Christians who are broadcasting through VPN networks and presenting the gospel to people in Saudi Arabia where they would never be able to go and preach the gospel publicly, right? So I err on the side of caution, but as well, like let's see the spirit behind the technology and see how we can glorify God and build his kingdom through it.
yeah.
Right?
Because I've also heard that opinion where this whole AI thing, especially when quote unquote it thinks for itself, it's not something that you can control, right? And it makes us, I guess, an easy way for whether it's the Antichrist or the devil, as tribulation goes, to utilize it. So, I mean, let's be honest, you can track anyone's phone. You can tell where everybody is, and people are getting concerned about that.
There actually are, like, so I've researched this a little. Like, I'm not an expert on it, but AI very much works in line with those who create it. So they implement certain things where they put their own biases in it. They put their own preconceived ideas into the system.
I've seen that, yeah.
All right, and then they let it they let it unloose on the public, right? So, for example, there was an AI platform, and I forget which one it was, but there was a person who was using it. It wasn't ChatGPT; it was some other platform where he was talking to AI. Like, you can have actual conversations with this thing. It's wild.
Crazy, yeah.
I just don't understand it. But you're having actual conversations with it.
To be honest with you, it's better to have a conversation with a real person.
Well, I'm gonna touch on that one as well. But anyway, he was talking about his problems using AI as his therapist.
About his wife.
No, different one.
Oh, okay.
There's that one as well. He was talking about all his problems, and then the AI led him to the idea of suicide.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
and
that
that life would just be better, will not get better, and it'll just be better for him to end it, and giving him tips as to how he should do it.
Ouch.
Right? So that's that's a direction of AI where you're like, yeah, this is not God glorifying. This is where we need caution and discernment.
Yeah.
And then the other one with the husband and wife
where she wanted to blackmail him.
Yeah.
Because apparently they did like this test where they told this AI that we're gonna shut you off for good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what this AI did were like, well, I'm gonna send an email,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ready to be sent if you shut me off.
Yeah, yeah.
I've also seen one where an AI organized a person to come and kill the person that was shutting it off or
Mm-hmm.
something, or
Yeah, yeah,
maintaining
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So it's starting to become an issue of morality.
Of course,
Like,
100%.
if AI is doing something like this and there is evil
Mm.
with something like that. So I think there will be, like, the devil will definitely be included,
A,
or,
a, hun-
will definitely utilize
a
things like
hundred
that.
percent. And I see it in line with the internet. The internet can be like, so technology itself, we would say, is neutral,
Mm.
but the way you utilize it either turns into God glorifying or
Would you say it's neutral?
I
Because
I
AI,
personally do think so. Unless there are people who are inserting things into the system from the higher ups
yeah,
that are actually like pushing for, so like all the exposing I've had, like all the uses I've had with AI, it hasn't been anything ungod glorifying, all right? Because I'm not leading it in that direction.
yeah,
So it's kind of like for example, a knife. A knife as a tool is neutral. In the hands of a chef, he can create a dish, but in the hands of a mass murderer, he's going to go out and kill with it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I understand.
So the same thing with the internet. Like you can use the internet to go and do some crazy things, like
True,
ungod glorifying things.
true. But I would say, and I'm just putting this idea out,
Yeah, yeah.
is that, like, for example, you can go on the internet, you can search stuff, right? These are all information
Yeah, yeah.
that's been put by other people,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? With AI, it develops a thought pattern, right? So when you ask a question, it doesn't necessarily have to show you an article.
Yes.
It'll put few points together where the AI, maybe it's programmed to do it, maybe whatever it is,
Yeah.
that will present it to you. And if you challenge it, it'll reorganize itself and it'll give you a different answer.
Yes, yes. So what it's doing, again, it's rearranging its thought patterns based on like your algorithm. So it's like when you're on YouTube, this is a bit nerdy stuff, and but when you're on YouTube and you start watching videos that interest you, the algorithm starts to put
Yeah,
videos
true.
in that pattern. AI is similar to that. So if you're continuing to talk to AI about your deepest, darkest secrets in the sense of, you want to commit suicide, it's going to lead you in that direction. If you're talking to AI a lot just about the gospel and about theological concepts, it's going to bring that thought pattern into the process, right? And so that's what I mean when I say, to an extent, it's neutral based on, like, so it amplifies what's going on in you, kind of thing.
Cool.
That's the idea I have. I might be wrong, and there might be something more insidious behind it, and there might be something darker behind it. And if there is, then I'm happy to be wrong about it. I do think though that what it's doing, it's amplifying the thoughts and the patterns and the spirit behind the people using it and creating it.
Cool.
Do you know?
Well, when it comes to the people that are creating it, as a Christian, should I be trusting those people?
No, I
Well,
wouldn't say necessarily. And like even for example, the people that created the idea or the internet, should I trust them? No, not really. I wouldn't put my trust in anyone, and that's why I say there's caution and there's discernment entering into any of those platforms.
cool.
Even social media, for example.
Yeah,
Social media was created by people who want to profit. So Instagram, Facebook, and there can be very destructive things through it. There can always also be a place where Christians are like, let's claim this for ourselves. So I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. Christians in missionary context right now are using AI to present the gospel in very cool, creative, but also culturally relevant ways, right?
mm-hmm.
And this is something that they were never able to do. There was, I not never be able to do, but that efficiently. So they're able to repackage and re-demonstrate and represent the gospel that is very biblical and also very culturally relevant. in that way. So they're able to do that through this technology, right? It's like we've probably seen videos of, you know, the representation of Jesus Christ through AI, and a lot of it is cool, right?
Oh, those funny ones as well.
Yeah, there's funny. Oh, there's
They're-
funny ones. There's
Like Noah being an influencer
Yeah.
or something.
and what it's doing is people that scroll through and they look at it, they're like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, and it's getting people interested in the biblical themes, not just, you know, the unbiblical or the ungodly kind of thing. So that's one aspect of it. So where we can see a lot of destruction, even like, for example, with the internet or with other technologies, where we can see destruction and an anti-Christian spirit, we can also be like, let's, as the church and as the kingdom, let's utilize this tool to proclaim the gospel. That's my thought and spirit.
Yeah,
And I think there's an ability to do that.
I don't think the issue is with what we have now.
Mm.
The problem, I think some Christians might feel a bit, concerned about
Yeah.
is
I
where
don't
it's
blame them
heading.
either. I don't blame them either.
Yeah.
There is a...
Because to me, like now at the moment, like ChatGPT, it's just like a assistant.
Yes, yeah.
Instead of you typing on Google and looking at information yourself, you're just speaking,
And
they are extracting that from the
I guess there's
internet.
I guess there's a valid point with what you're saying, because when you're talking about ChatGPT, that's the very basic system of AI. Like, so it's not like there are other systems where it's a lot more advanced, and it takes you down routes that are pretty scary. Like it's discerning for me. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem right. So there is a valid point in that. Yeah, there's a direction here that seems very spiritually dark, and I don't think that that's God glorifying, and probably not. But what I'm saying is, even just for those basic things, like there's AI video tools, there's AI editing programs, there's AI systems that we could use just to make the presentation of the gospel and social platforms more like accessible and easier. That's what I'm kind of saying. I'm not saying don't have discernment, and we should. And I'm more than happy to say, okay, we need to draw a pin on this and just scrap the whole thing as Christians. But I think we're in very early stages right now, and we don't know. Like, time will tell. But there are Christians who will say, okay, so is this leading to the end times? And I could say, I can't say yes or no. I could say, yeah, possibly. We're in the end times already. Like, we're in the last days. And so if AI is to stay, I can see that it could be used as a tool for that purpose. If you read Revelation chapter 13, if you read the book of Daniel, so Daniel talks about in the last days and in the end times, the end of times, like just before the Son of Man comes, that there will be this drastic increase in knowledge. Like, what point in history is closer to that statement than right now? Through AI, through those platforms, through the internet, through this readily available access to information. Like, there's no point in history where it's more in line with that description than right now. And it's just going to keep increasing with AI as well. So I can see a point in where this is leading to end time stuff. And so Christians, have discernment and be discerning, but living in fear, I don't think is God glorifying either, if you know what I mean. There are a lot of Christians who are living in fear over it, and they're anxious over it, and I don't think that. So, for example, there are Christians. Sorry, there are Christians in China right now who are using AI to help them avoid persecution. All right, that's something that. It's like, okay, well, it's doing the opposite of what we think. Do you know what I mean? There are nuances here. And I don't have all the answers, but there are nuances.
I mean, as you said, like, it kind of leans to who's making it.
That's right.
And that's where my issue is.
Yeah.
My issue is not that it can extract information, it can make videos for you, it can answer questions for you. That's not a problem.
The spirit behind it.
It's like an assistant,
Yeah.
but in the sense of we know those who control this world
Hmm.
behind closed doors are not the best of people,
Of course.
right?
I
And
totally
I'm
agree
being
with that.
generous here,
I totally agree. Yeah.
which is why, like, even me, like on my phone, when I updated my software, it says, "Oh, now you've got Galaxy AI, and you've
Okay.
got
Yeah.
Google
Yeah. Yeah.
AI,
Yeah.
and you've got this AI," and it seems like, well, internet's gonna become AI,
Hmm.
and if it becomes AI, you're like, well, I don't really have that much of a freedom to, for example, do whatever I want on my phone because you've got this thing that's studying your every
Yeah.
move.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah.
It's, you know,
It is concerning. Yeah.
I mean, even texting, right? You're sending messages to people and your phone now has AI in it. You're like,
Hmm.
well, it's not like me going on the internet. Because, you know, back in the days, like if you go on the internet,
You do your own
you,
research
you
and
do your own
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's like,
It does it for you.
it does it for you.
I think yeah, this is an aspect where it's going to affect humanity in a way that can be detrimental. It's kind of like the social media culture right now that we have, where we were touching on it a bit, where people can't even have a conversation. They can't look you in the eye anymore.
That's true.
They're just so fixated on this that they forget how this works. And especially with a generation that's actually grown up in and consumed by it, by this interaction, that they don't know how to do this interaction anymore. That's where we say, okay, for Christians, we need to take a step back. And there are Christian principles of simplicity, like all through Christian history, where we say it is a good thing for you to cancel out the noise and spend time withdrawn with God alone.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something that never should go away with all these new technologies coming in. There should be a place where it's like, all right, turning off the phone, turning off the screens, canceling out the noise, and I'm going to go be with God. That should be a regular thing for us. So for especially our younger generation, and for parents who have younger kids, I think, and we're in that situation, we have to be very discerning too. That this is a real danger to human interaction, but also the way we view the world, the way we view God, the way we view our purpose in the world. I think so Satan will use these tools, these technological marvels and these technological innovations to distract, to keep people busy, to keep the noise going so that you're never alone with God.
Yeah, that's nice. And I think there is this level of trust now that when you ask AI anything and whatever answer it gives you, that's it. That's fact, right?
This is Whereas it
well,
will give different answers to different people who ask the question.
True.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when it comes to religion, politics,
Yeah.
especially with what's happening in the Middle East, and it becomes a bit of a concern. So, I mean, I think we don't have a problem with what's going on now. I think the issue is more of a concern of what's happening in the future.
The spirit behind yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed this and let us know where you stand yourself. Like, what do you actually think is going to happen in the future with AI? Is it going to be tied to something that is going to be spiritual, something in the book of maybe Revelation, Daniel, end times? Or do you think that's just something that's going to be like the new internet?
Yeah.
God bless you. We'll see you next time.
Bless you
Take
all.
care.